some olive oil, seasoned with oregano and salt and pepper. Now for the magic.
She said, I love your vlogs.
Oh, dope.
Have you tried it yet?
No.
Are you worried? It smells pretty good. I'm here for this.
Hello. Hello and welcome to my channel. Sounds dumb to say. Welcome to my channel. This is Whit and Erica on the channel of YouTube doing videos because we like to show off our life and how lame it is. And so here we are. Hello everyone. Everyone. Okay, here we go. This like makes me nervous. Not one for crowds. Hello, I am Whitney, and this is my wife Erica. Maybe she'll pop up on the screen right here. She is at Target, so she's not here. This is the boy who lives with us, and his name is Daniel, and he is our nephew. He is really cute. Two cuties hanging out with me. How's everyone doing? How's it going? How's quarantine? It's almost been a year since it has been a year since the first case of COVID has been found, and we are still in it. We are still in it. We're still here. And we're doing it. We're still doing it. Yep, it's very sad, but that we're still here. But thank you to all the essential workers and frontline workers who are trying to kick this virus's rear end, and so that's that. Okay, we're here, and I wanted to tell you a story about something that happened to me the other day. So the other day, I was having a crappy day. I feel like all of us have crappy days because we're humans and we go through emotions, and sometimes it's crappy, and sometimes some of us maybe have some mental health issues of like anxiety and depression, and maybe sometimes those happen as well. And so you're just having like a really bad day, and then the Lord Jesus decides to remind you that you are female and that you didn't get pregnant this month. So then then that thing happens where your body's angry at you, and then you're really having a bad day. So maybe that's happening to you. Maybe it's not, and you're just having a bad day. All scenarios, okay, I was having a bad day. And I was kind of grumpy, and work, you know, like when you're trying to be creative, but you can't really figure out what you want to do, and you kind of hit these creative blocks. And I feel like a lot of the time I hit a creative block. There are times where I hit the ground running and I'm like, creative, creative, creative. Oh, I'm being so creative. And then I like open up Instagram and I see 10,000 other people who are more creative than me, and it seems like they're doing way cooler things than me. And then I just let myself be like, wow, this is not going to be a good day for me. So anyways, I'm having a bad day. All in all, it comes down to Wednesday. This past Wednesday. Erica went to youth group, okay? I was here by myself with Daniel. And Daniel was also having a really bad day. And he goes to daycare at his cousin's house. And his older cousins are kind of rowdy. And that's okay. And there's different rules there than there are here, and that's okay. So we were kind of like going against the grain with each other, because he was doing naughty things that aren't allowed at our house. But it's like, I'm trying to discipline and explain to almost a 2-year-old that that's not okay. And he's feeling big emotions because he can't communicate how he's feeling, and end up talking to him like an adult and trying to explain this is how you made me feel, and this is what you did that I thought was wrong, and I don't know if you think that is wrong, all of that stuff. Because I don't know how to talk to a toddler. I'm learning, but I try to tell him jokes and he doesn't laugh. Whatever. So he was having a bad day. We're having a bad day. He sometimes hates getting into his pajamas because he just like wants to hang out. He wants to get buck wild. He wants to hang out with Whit and Erica and like party the night away. But he is 2, so he has to go to bed at 7. So I was putting him into his pajamas, and I'm by myself. Erica's at work. I'm putting him into his pajamas, and he had like a full-on exorcism meltdown. And like, it took me at least 22 minutes just to get a diaper on him. And I was convinced he was going to pee on me the whole time. So I was like scared about that. I was getting really frustrated because I don't know if you guys have ever tried to put a diaper on a toddler who is kicking and screaming and crying, and you're like, am I hurting you? Are you okay? Like, what's going on? But they can't communicate what they're feeling, so they just feel those big emotions and just like let them out, which I think we could learn from toddlers in that, and in a small portion of that aspect of like, if you're feeling something, feel it, but also don't be crazy. You know what I mean? Like, tell me what you're feeling, or try to communicate what you're feeling. Take a deep breath. And we have been teaching Daniel when he's having these moments of calm heart. And so there were like moments where he would like stop and try to have a calm heart, but he was just feeling too big of emotions at this point. So this goes on, like I said, for about 22 minutes. I finally get his diaper on. So I felt comfortable enough to like, maybe if I held him or like moved around, that he would be okay or whatever. So he didn't. He threw his head. He head-butted me a couple times. Like, he was having a full-on like tantrum. And even when I set him on the ground for him to like figure it out, like what was going on, he just kept throwing, kept kicking, kept going, whatever. And so then I was like, okay, I'm just gonna try to keep putting his pajamas on, because I mean, it's winter outside and I don't want him to get cold. And so then I'm trying to put his pajamas on, and at this point I'm like really frustrated. I had a really bad day, like all of the things were like piling up, and I started crying. And it was very interesting, because once I started crying, Daniel stopped crying. And he started to study my face. He started to turn his face in kind of the way that my face was, you know, like when you start to ugly cry when you had a really bad day. And he started to do those things that it was very interesting to watch him watch me as tears rolled down my face. And it made him stop crying, which I don't know if I would be able to do it on command, like every time that he had to freak out to start crying. But he did this thing where he stopped and he placed his hand on my chest and he went, which was a really cool moment because Daniel comes from pretty rough past, I'd say, and he goes through things. When he goes through things, he might be triggered by something that's happened in his past, and he comes from trauma. And so teaching him to calm himself or to just breathe for a second when he's feeling those feelings, it was really cool to see him put that into practice on me. That made me cry even more. And then, because I was like, oh, he's so cute, he's not a demon anymore. But then, like 2 seconds later, he was crying again, and then we were back to square one. But it was cool because it taught me in that moment that sometimes we can be having the worst days, the things that are going on can be absolutely horrible. We could feel isolated, we could feel disconnected, we could feel sad, mad, depressed, anxious, all of these things. But if you let yourself intentionally look for a moment of peace, or intentionally stop and maybe put your hand on your chest and take a breath and calm yourself, calm your heart as much as you can in that moment, and look for the smallest little thing of peace, even if it's just for a second, and you make a habit of doing those things, and you make a habit of finding that peace, finding that moment of silence, finding that calm, that maybe it won't have to be forced every time that you do it. That when sometimes, or maybe if you enter into that, it can create this moment of peace for just a second. My wife's calling me.
Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good.
Am I interrupting big time?
No, I was done, I think.
How do you feel about sweatpants shorts?